Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of the Timesphere, where we have timely discussions that are never on time. Actually, we're kind of on time this week, even though we're recording a couple days later than usual, just because we've been traveling. Scott, how are you this fine Sunday afternoon?
I am good. I am recovered from my travels. It was a lot harder going there than coming back, because I did the thing that I did 2 months ago for Ireland, where I took a red eye and essentially just jumped right into the day on Monday. Um, I didn't have to do much on Monday, but I made the crucial mistake of not having any caffeine on that day. So when I went to bed, I just had nightmarish hangovers. I had the most restless 12 hours of sleep I've ever had in my life. Uh, but thankfully, everything went. I was able to recover in the morning. I had a great time. It was great seeing everyone at the Story Mob. I loved London. I loved the energy. I just loved walking around, all the little shops and cool things all around that you could just walk to. Hope there's bikes everywhere. I had a great time. How was your trip?
It was good. We didn't have any delays on the way out, which was nice, given that the government shut down and everything. That did affect our trip a little bit, just because a lot of what we were trying to do out in Philadelphia and like the greater that part of Pennsylvania was history related. So went out to Valley Forge, and that the big visitor center and a lot of the main stuff was closed, but we did get to walk around and do like all the stuff that was still open and see the sights. We went to Brandywine, I believe,
Mm.
and that one was still open because it's a privately funded operation, so we got to do that. Like Independence Hall was closed, the Liberty Bell was closed, so we didn't get to do like some of the main attractions in like Pennsylvania or in Philadelphia proper, but we did get to do a lot of stuff. It was a lot of fun. Obviously, I got to go to a Steelers game for the first time. That was fun. I was not I was pleasantly surprised with the win, even though Jesus, that was ugly. It was like all defense. Like our defense worked their asses off to win that game. It was ugly, but it was fun. I ate so much food. I hit all of the recommendations for cheesesteak that I got from the locals. I got to hang
Mm.
out with Jess, our
Yeah,
friend Jess
that's great.
Schernagel.
Yes, saw that. Awesome.
Got to hang out with her for an afternoon, so that was fun. Obviously, she dragged me to a bookstore, which we spent way too much time. And I actually bought more books than she did, which was crazy. But yeah,
Yeah,
it was good.
I finally got to try Nando's. That was the one
Ooh,
thing. I wanted. There's two things I want to do. One I couldn't do. I didn't have the time really for a full English breakfast
mm,
because I had full Irish pretty much every day I was in Ireland because it was a vacation, so I was time. But this was more of a work trip, so I didn't have time to like sit down and have like a legit like full English breakfast. Um, but I did try Nando's. I got that after our. So we had a full workday Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we went to the London Underground Cookery School, where we learn how to make pasta and like they essentially give you a cooking lesson, and then you eat what you cook
oh, that's
for
awesome.
for a meal. And they definitely overserved us with Chardonnay and wine, and so then we had like a I'm using big air quotes here half day at the office. That was very unproductive. And then I got Nando's for dinner that night, and I really enjoyed it.
Unironically,
I
the
was
two best places I ate on my trip, which was surprising, were in Gettysburg. Like
hmm,
Gettysburg, we went to a place I think it was the great blue and gray like bar and grill the night we got in, and their wings were all they had like fresh wings with all their, or I say fresh wings, like they don't cook, the way they cooked their wings was really good, and then they also did all their sauces in house. And all their
mm.
burgers were great, their sides were awesome. And then we went to I can't remember the name of it, but we went to a tavern after we did the battlefield on the day before we left for Philadelphia, and oh boy, I had crab cake sandwich, crab dip, and a fresh French onion soup, and I was asleep
Mm.
in the car ride to Philly.
Yeah,
So
that'll take you out.
yeah, it was great, but yeah, fun trip. I do wish we got to do some of the stuff that was closed, but we actually only had two delays total on our flights, which was insane. We got really
That's good.
lucky. We were delayed an hour on the tarmac for our flight from Philly to Dallas, and then like
Mm.
20 minutes on our flight from Dallas to OKC. So nothing too crazy compared to like some of the other wild stuff I've
Yeah,
heard.
we had a delay on the way there, First, the wrong plane pulled into our like terminal, so
As
they had
as
to
do, yeah.
get rid of that plane and bring back and get our plane. And then someone who was actually sitting like not like directly next to me, but in the aisle over, I heard her talking to the flight attendant because she had realized that she had made it through security, but had upon getting on the plane realized that she had her old passport, not her newer version. So she had her old expired passport. And she was like, I don't know if one of them's gonna let me in. Flight attendant's like, yeah, they're probably not gonna let you in. And like I felt so terrible. And so like she had to get off. She had to get off, and then they had to like find her bag too. So that added more
Yeah.
time. I was just so shocked that she got through. Like she got all the way through security and onto the plane before
Look,
this was a realization. Like it's
it's a
crazy.
lot. I don't know.
Couldn't believe it. But speaking of
No, no, no.
delays,
First, we got to shout out.
oh,
First, we got
oh,
almost a smooth transition,
oh,
Scott. Almost,
I jumped the gun.
almost. You jumped the gun because first we have
Mhm,
to say that prior to our trips, we were trying to get one more good session of Marvel Rivals in.
mhm.
Scott had just joined the call. We were getting ready to have a full
Yep,
group play some Marvel Rivals.
yep.
I was like, I'm gonna let the dog out. We're gonna play for a couple hours. It'll be great. I get back. Two of our friends are gone. It's just me and Scott in the call, and our friend Shay had ditched us to play. I don't know. Was it Valorant? Was it Peak? I don't even remember what she was. Probably
Valorant
Valorant.
Peak or the RV game.
Yeah.
Probably, I think it was Valorant.
Regardless, so our friend Shay hates us. She doesn't want to play Marvel
Uh,
Rivals with us. We are now going to protest in our Discord where we play Marvel Rivals. Uh,
Shay, if you're listening, I do want to keep playing Valorant though, especially now that Harbor's getting
okay,
reworked. I
well,
can go back to being a Harbor main.
okay, we got a
Oh, but
sympathizer over
so now
here.
we're starting our Valorant segment, which I'm sure you're excited.
Yeah, our Valorant, the Valorant
uh,
arc that I have no desire to be a part of, bro. I've only launched 2XKO like twice since it came out. You think that if that's not gonna get me to
you're
open
just
the Riot
you're
client, like,
you're just out. You're out on the right
bro,
stuff.
it's not that I don't like 2XKO. It's just like that style of fighting game is not what I enjoy playing that much. But
Sure, right.
yeah, I'm not gonna play Valorant.
I know. I'm not. No, I didn't think you were gonna play that.
But speaking of not playing things,
Mm,
now
I've
now
been
you can
waiting a
take it,
while for
Scott.
this
Now
one.
you can go.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of not playing things, a game that no one's gonna be playing for quite some time is Grand Theft Auto 6. It has been delayed again. This is directly from the mouth of Rockstar. Uh, just a couple of days ago. You know what's funny? Last time I went out of town, there was a very incendiary moment of political violence, and it really and I was like, I wonder what horrible thing is going to happen while I'm gone here.
Well, here you
And I
go.
got through the whole trip, everything was fine. And then I got on the plane to come home, and when I landed, I saw in my inbox that GTA 6 had been
See,
delayed.
both of us had
And I
moments
thought,
like this.
you know what? If that's the worst
I
thing
think they
that's
could happen.
happened, then
Yeah.
that's okay.
Look, you got
But so
this.
this is
You got this to happen to you, and that blew up my phone too. My phone was blowing up when this happened too. But the
mhm.
thing that actually blew up my phone is just again, Nintendo on a random Tuesday was like, "Hey, we're gonna do a trailer and announce news for the Pokemon DLC just on a random Thursday or whatever." And I'm just like, "Of course it happens
They
while I'm on
knew.
vacation. Yeah, it just happens now."
They
So
knew.
go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So this comes directly from this announcement. This was directly from Rockstar Games. Hi everyone. Grand Theft Auto 6 will now release on Thursday, November 19th, 2026. We are sorry for adding additional time to what we realize has been a long wait, but these extra months will allow us to finish the game with the level of polish you have come to expect and deserve. This is their second delay
Second
to
delay
my
since they put
knowledge.
an official like. So the first one just
It
had a
was
time frame. This
yeah.
is the first one since they've actually had a date because they gave it a date. So this is technically the first delay that wasn't just like,
Mhm.
hey, we're moving the time frame. This is the straight up, hey, we had a date, we're moving that date, and we're giving it another date. Because what's the new date? The new date is November 19th,
November
which
19th, 2026.
is the biggest day. Is the outside of like the Call of Duties, which tend to release like the first weekend of November.
Mhm.
That's like prime real estate date for like a lot of like
Yeah.
single player
We'll
franchises
we'll
specifically.
get into that
Yeah,
actually in a little bit about what it's going to mean. But I mean, does any immediate reactions?
I
Are
mean,
you surprised that it's been delayed again, or is
the
this is
biggest thing
kind
I
of
have to say about this
preemptive?
is like when this happened, and then that night we went out to like South Philly to get a pizza and a cheesesteak from like a really popular place called Angelo's, And while we were waiting, there were some guys outside that were just eating their pizza and whatever else they had, and they were talking about uh like how regardless of when GTA comes out, it's gonna kill, like, for their friend group specifically. They were like the normal demographic, as my friend Will would say. They're the normies, the people that
Hmm.
we write for, and the people that a lot of people don't take into account, because a lot of people like us, not us because we're journalists, or former journalists or
Hmm.
journalists or in the NPR, but like the people that kind of consume journalism or consume
Yeah.
content about games a lot on, or like games media and games business on, like, podcasts and stuff, don't take into account that a lot of the stuff that publishers are taking into account is that the more normal audience, the people that buy the 2 or 3 games a year, the people that buy the 2Ks, the CODs, the Grand Theft Auto is their end all be all, that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
So they were talking about how that's going to kill like a Call of Duty for them or a Battlefield for them or whatever, even though they really like those
Yeah.
games, because they're expecting this to be such a big thing. So the only thing
Because
that comes into my mind, oh,
this
go
is
ahead.
in the call this is in the Call of Duty window now for
Yeah.
November.
So this
Um,
this is
if they're doing
specifically
another one next year, we'll see.
this is specifically, and we'll talk about this a little bit more after our initial reactions to this, is only going to impact the games that truly care about, like,
Hmm.
the market share that this might take from them. So we've talked about this a lot. Nintendo will not care. Age of Imprisonment just came out. Kirby Air Riders is coming out. I think Kirby Air Riders is coming out in this time frame. So they don't care. Nintendo won't care,
Yeah.
because that if you were going to buy a Nintendo game that's coming out at this time, regardless of what it's going to be next year, because they're always going to release a November game around that time. Now if it's a Pokemon game, then we'll actually have a conversation, because this is the Pokemon time frame normally.
That'd be a little different.
Now Nintendo and the Pokemon companies still
Or
won't
like
care.
a major like a fully fleshed out Mario.
So
Or
again,
like or
uh,
the next Smash Brothers
so that's
like
not the time frame for this though. This time frame
mhm,
specifically is usually Nintendo's November game. So last year it was Mario and Luigi Brothership, and this year it's going to be Kirby Air Riders.
mhm.
But typically, if a new Pokemon game is coming out and it's coming out in the November time frame, it is going to release that weekend. So the Pokemon company still won't care, because yes, there's like some crossover with like the normie audience in terms of like who will play GTA and who will play Pokemon. But like, how much crossover is that truly going to be, especially when a lot of people buy multiple games during the holidays?
Yeah.
So if the two biggest basically the two biggest game franchises on the planet launch the same weekend, everybody else is going to suffer. Those two games are not going to suffer. They're not going to cannibalize each
Right.
other. They're going to eat everything else. But
Yes.
this is going to hurt the Call of Duties, the more like the quote unquote normie coded games that
Mhm.
are sharing market share with the people who would play a GTA or keep going back to GTA Online, rather than the Nintendos or the indie games. The indie games will probably still try and steer clear of this, just to like, as much as possible, just to
Yeah.
avoid any potential loss of
Mhm.
anything. But especially if they're like a super niche indie game or whatever, they're not going to care.
Let's go down on like who could some of the bigger games that could be affected this, because
Mm.
this is something that we actually were reading. Our good buddy Josh, how do you pronounce Josh's last name?
Chalice,
I should
I
have looked
believe
at
it's Chalice.
Chalice. Josh Chalice,
Josh, correct us
who
if
we
we're
worked with
wrong.
at Dot. Josh, if you're listening,
We love you.
call in.
Yeah, call in. Hey, Josh,
Tell us we're
hit
wrong.
my line. Hit my line. Josh, call in. Live
This is
show.
not a call-in show. Not a call-in show, not a live show. Josh wrote for Insider Gaming. GTA 6 delay could impact Halo Remake. It could impact Halo Remake, Gears E-Day, and next Call of Duty. So we talked about the Call of Duty aspect of this. And Josh is relaying what IGN's Ryan McCaffrey has concerns about, in which games in the fall 2026 window, which include the Halo campaign evolved, which we talked about last week, Gears of War E-Day, Fable, 2026 Call of
Oh, I
Duty
forgot about the
installment.
Fable element there.
There could be potentially, the annual EA Sports Madden, EAFC. That's going to be a very busy window. So what do these developers do? Do they, you know, tread into choppy waters and go up against GTA, or do they
The answer
do
is no.
well?
The answer is they will not. Well, depends.
Yeah,
Call of
I
Duty,
think they get at it.
Call of Duty will either move forward or they don't have a choice if they're going to release, because they can't release earlier in the
I
year.
genuinely think
You think they'll take the cue and skip? But Yeah, go
I
ahead.
think I think they should skip. I think if you're gonna do a for the first time, not do an annual like the same annual release for Call of Duty, and really make sure you get the next one right. I think they just skip. If this
Do
was the window
they?
it was gonna come out,
Yeah, the issue there is, or how sure are we the GTA will? So the joke that some of my normie friends, I keep saying the word normie, and I hate using that in the
mhm,
context of everything, but that's just kind of like
casual,
how it works. Like, well, I don't even know
casual
if I could
gamers.
say casual because they play a lot of games. It's
Yeah.
just, but whatever. We'll use normie for this episode, and if it sticks, it sticks. Whatever, I don't care. The point is
We'll
one of
come
my
up with a better we'll come up with a better slur in the
yeah,
future.
oh yeah, let's run with that. But yeah, one of my friends who's a very casual level, like doesn't pay attention to games, but will ask me questions about like when games are coming out or whatever. Like I had to remind him that the new Pokemon was coming out because he forgot because he doesn't have Switch 2 and didn't realize it was coming to Switch 1. Uh, he was like, "Is it if this game ever comes out?" When he shared news about the delay to like our group chat, and I was like, "It's too big not to come out. Like it's going to come out.
Yeah.
It just depends on when."
Game will come
So
out.
how sure are we that this is the date that sticks versus it getting pushed to the next May again, the next year?
That's a good concern because with Rockstar, they will absolutely delay it again if they feel it's not ready. This
Exactly.
is not. They're not going to do a CD Project Red and Cyberpunk where like let's get it out there, or like what other companies have been doing where they're like let's get it out there, we can fix things
We'll talk more
later.
about that later too.
They want this to be out and ready to go and working and not. But I mean, of course, it's listen. There's only so much they can prepare for. Like obviously the online servers.
The online's going to suck. The online is going to
If it
suck at
launches with
launch
online, that's gonna get absolutely
if it even launches with
smashed.
online. True, yeah.
True, yeah, yeah. I think just GTA 5 did not launch with
Nope.
online,
Well,
correct?
it had like some elements, but like not like
It's not what GTA Online is
no,
now.
nothing close to that. Didn't have like game modes and stuff. I'm pretty sure. Also, it's only
Yeah,
launching on console. It's not launching on PC day one. Well, now if it gets delayed like so many times, then maybe it will eventually reach that point. But that's a whole
where they
other
just put
can of worms because I think it's supposed to only. I don't know how much of this information that I've been hearing because again I was on vacation, so I was just listening to a couple podcasts like while we
mhm,
were driving and stuff. But the point here is these companies, specifically like the Halos, the Microsofts and the Sonys, uh, that are looking at those dates. Sony even less so, just because whatever they release is going to be single player, so it'll have tail end sales. They're going
mhm,
to try and avoid it as much as possible. But if they launch like Wolverine, so to speak, like the Wolverine, I remember I saw a comment that Insomniac doubled down on Wolverine releasing second half of next year. That'll probably be a September game. They like the
mhm,
September time frame for those games. So similar to kind of like Ghost of Yote the first weekend of
yeah.
October, they'll probably try and hit that, and that'll be their big fall game. So they'll probably try and skip that time frame to avoid any casualty from the
Yeah,
GTA potential casualties
because
there.
Sony still wants people to buy GTA 6 on PlayStation 5,
Sony's probably
so they
mad
don't.
about this more than anything because they were planning
Yeah,
on.
because they had a bigger. They maybe had a bigger window for Wolverine in mind.
I think they're more
Um,
mad that it's skipping it all because they're trying to sell as many PS5. Because remember, if this gets pushed again, it's getting closer to the rumored like
then
release
again,
window for the new
we get in the
consoles.
PS6 category, the
So
PS6 territory. Yeah,
I
correct. Good
my
point.
thought process is Rockstar is doing this on purpose, not the delay part, but like the time frame that they're in now. So even May next year
Mhm,
would have fallen to this, where they're trying to release the game in like its base form on consoles, and then they're
mhm.
trying to have the PC version plus a next gen version ready to go as like a launch title for PS6, Xbox, whatever, and then PC because that's what they did for GTA 5 and it worked so well.
Yeah.
So
Um,
it's
Speaking of,
long story before we jump back to GTA 5. Long story short,
yeah,
uh
6.
yeah, because I know what's coming next is what I meant. But
Yeah.
the point here is some of these games, especially Fable, like Microsoft doesn't want to, especially like Microsoft has the most to lose here. uh,
Mhm.
because less people are going to buy it on Xbox than they are on PlayStation, so they're not benefiting as much from GTA releasing. Obviously, especially since it's not going to be on PC, day and date as of now. So, Call of Duty, if they are confident that this is going to hit that date, and they somehow know that, or they feel strongly enough that if this hits, then they're in trouble with Call of Duty. That might be the one that skips. Fable, if that's not coming out before November, if that was going to be their November game, and they were confident in that, people are going to buy GTA over Fable if they have the if
Yes.
they have the choice.
I agree.
regardless of if that's also launching on PlayStation day and date, which is still a conversation that has to happen with all these unreleased Xbox exclusives, the Microsoft Game Studio, Xbox Game Studio developed games or published games, because we're still not sure if they're going to be day and date on PlayStation moving forward for all games. So those are Microsoft has the most to lose with all of these games. So I would expect Microsoft's strategy for Gears, because Gears will probably be, I think the one that actually has the least to lose from this is Halo, just because it's apparently only going to be the single player.
Yeah.
And people would buy Halo and GTA because that Halo campaign will probably be longer than the original in some ways, and have obviously it's going to have more content because they're doing the prequel content too. But so that one has the least to lose, I think, because Fable's just going to get overshadowed. Gears is going to sell, but that would probably be a terrible just a time frame to launch for it. And COD is weird because if they're not going to do the yearly release, then they're going to have to think hard about COD. But regardless, all of those games should avoid. Microsoft's going to try and get out of that time frame, or at least try and
Yeah.
open up spots in its release calendar to be flexible with its dates.
Yeah.
Sony won't care as much, and Nintendo will not care.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think that Microsoft's gonna try and
Microsoft is
get
just in
as
a lot
much.
of trouble regardless.
Yeah,
So,
they're gonna try and get as much out of the way as they can. One last thing about GTA 6, we have to sort of bring up this sort of relevant, touching story, or not. It's not touching in like a emotional sense. It's as in touches and like it's related. Um, a report from earlier this week from Bloomberg alleged that a number of employees were fired by Rockstar. According to the UK's IWGB Game Workers Union, they claimed it was an act of union busting, which Take-Two, the owners of Rockstar, have denied. This is from Rock Paper Shotgun. According to the report, alongside a post from the Workers Union, the roles of more than 30 staffers were terminated across both UK and Canadian offices. Bloomberg notes that all the employees were apparently part of a private Discord group chat revolving around trade unions, with members of this group either a part of the union or currently attempting to organize at Rockstar. The president of the Game Workers Union offered this statement. Rockstar has just carried out one of the most blatant and ruthless acts of union busting in the history of the games industry. This flagrant contempt for the law and for the lives of the workers who bring in their billions is an insult to their fans and the global industry. Take-Two spokesman Alan Lewis claims the firings were for quote gross misconduct and for no other reason, and that we quote fully support Rockstar's ambitions and approach. It does not appear to any specifics over what said gross misconduct might have been shared. So obviously this has also led to some picketing outside Rockstar North in their Edinburgh.
there's another
Scotland.
report that said like morale at the studios are at all time lows, which is a terrible time for that to happen, because we already kind of, based on just big company culture in all tech, including games, you can assume that a lot of crunch is going on already that was trying to make that May date, because that delay. So prefacing all of this, and Schreier posted this in response to someone on like I almost said NeoGAF, not NeoGAF, the NeoGAF replacement after the people that ran that Reset Era. In response to people speculating, and this has been widespread. I've seen people sharing it around on Twitter when I'm briefly on that side, and Blue Sky, and in shorts and everything. The firing of these people is not why the delay happened. Yes, we don't know the specific positions that all these people are in. We're probably going to hear more and more about this as like these union busting, quote unquote, allegations, based on everything that's said in every element of this reporting. It sounds like union busting, but we still have to say alleged, just because we're not 100% sure. The 30 people, 31 people, whatever the exact number is that got fired here, did not directly impact this delay. Will it impact future delays if that happens? Yes, depending on when, like their level of seniority, like their contributions and stuff. Yes, it could very well lead to a second delay, like we were just referencing, potentially could happen, and maybe it'll slip until 2027 or whatever else. But no, this specific like round of layoffs, round of terminations, would not have impacted this delay. Did it have an impact on when the delay was announced? Most likely, yes. Because like the earnings call, maybe it was going to be announced directly in the earnings call. Maybe they did want to get out ahead of it, so it
Hmm.
would have happened anyways. But strategically, this makes a lot of sense for Rockstar, especially if this is union busting, because getting bigger news out for like the casual fans and like mass media
Hmm.
in terms of the game being delayed 6 months drowns out these reports, drowns out the people talking about this a lot. So it will appear less and has less of a chance of catching fire on like a wider industry level outside of like enthusiasts like us or like the press and everything. So
Yeah.
this all sucks. This is terrible. Rockstar is in a very bad spot if this is union busting.
Hmm.
They're already in a bad spot because of the delay. Like people already are starting to lose faith of like the time frame for this game and the
Hmm.
context or the quality of what this game might look like in the writing because of like the time period it might come out in, the huge amount of time and like all the radical shifts and like how things have affected the country because it's usually somewhat satirical in terms of how it covers like US politics and like US
Right.
happenings in its stories over the
Right.
past like 4 or 5 entries. So there's a lot writing on this, and this is a terrible, terrible thing for the workers, obviously, but also Rockstar as a company because it clearly shows that they are. If this is union busting, this clearly shows that they're like, we know that this is going to make a ton of money. We don't want to give royalties. We don't want to pay our like developers more, despite Rockstar having like I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is about to become like the third best selling game of all time or something.
Yeah. Hmm.
Like those games
It
just their
is.
games sell forever, and the shareholders and the people in charge of the companies get all that money, and then the developers get shafted, even though they're the ones that made the game. So like, especially at a company like this, it feels like I don't know, man. It's the whole situation is still developing, and obviously we just like are scratching the surface of like what we could do research wise to get stuff ready for the show. But it feels awful. Like this sucks. I hope that I don't even know if the people that get fired. I hope they if they do get if they maybe they can get reinstated if they want to get reinstated. Uh, but like I hope this doesn't just get brushed under the rug. Uh,
No.
because of Rockstar. But yeah.
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 Yeah. But yeah, not much else to say there. But um, yeah, you should if you're employing people who have made some of the most successful games in the history of the industry, you need to be treating them better
GTA
than
6 is
this.
about to sell how many millions of copies within the first like Pokemon like sold what 10 million, not 10 million, whatever. Pokemon sold like 10 million within 10 days or whatever, or for
Hmm.
Scarlet and Violet. This is gonna lap that. This is gonna be $1 billion game release. Like just like pay your people, and we'll get into that more here. Like it feels like we're not gonna get into. I'll transition here in a second to the next topic, but like they're gonna rely on more on GTA 5. GTA 5 is coming back to PlayStation Plus. There's a whole bunch of articles that you can go read about like what that might mean. Like because GTA 5 it just continues to be in the top 10 sellers all the time. GTA Online is a moneymaker. So I was listening to the Game S mornings with Grubb and Finelli was back on. Shout out
Hmm.
Jason Finelli for some awesome food recommendations in Philly, by the way. But yeah, no, they were talking about like how uh, all it would take for Rockstar to bring Rockstar to like the union table, quote unquote, so to speak, like negotiations for this stuff would be like if the people in charge of GTA Online like turned off the servers and walked out for a day
Mm.
because like that makes them so much money. And it doesn't reflect in sales. Like it doesn't reflect in the sales. So we don't know how much money that's making them, but like it's insane how much money that's probably making them every day. And man, it's just like, and they're gonna push GTA 5 hard until GTA 6 comes out, and then we're gonna get into the news cycle when GTA 6 is out, where it's like, man, GTA 5 was better. Let's just keep playing GTA 5, and you're gonna get like that diehard community stays over there, and it's not going anywhere. So that's gonna be making them metric tons of money still, while GTA 6 is making them metric tons of money, and this is why the conversation is happening. So like it sucks ass to be a creative.
Yeah.
So
Um,
yeah, would you like me to wittily transition now, Scott?
Go ahead.
Okay. Speaking of people being shitty to their employees, uh
Hmm.
we're gonna talk about Final Fantasy maker Square Enix, which this is Schreier talking about this. I actually accidentally had this pulled up still. No, wait, actually, well, this is skipping like 4 or 5 stories just because I want to talk about like more layoffs apparently. Uh, but
You want to talk about layoffs?
yeah, I want to talk about them apparently. So this is just Schreier's words on a Blue Sky post, and then we'll get into the actual articles that we pulled up here. But uh, Final Fantasy maker Square Enix, which is shrinking its U.S. and U.K. offices as it looks to cut costs and consolidate publishing operations in Japan. Exact numbers unclear, but the company says it will save 19.6 million due to the cut. So that's U.S. dollars. This layoff is not related to Square Enix saying, which we'll get into in a second, earlier today that it is looking to automate QA testing with generative AI. This is consolidating publishing, marketing, sales, and other business operations from the US and Europe to Japan. So, and then someone in response to that post said, "Oh, so those layoffs will happen later." Gotcha. True. Yes. We will probably hear about that when they're trying to automate stuff that's supposed to be by 2027. We'll get into that. So, Scott, this is one of the stories I brought up here because, and this is from Mike Straw over at Insider Gaming. Shout out our buddy Mike Straw. Full statement is as follows from Square Enix. This is provided to Insider Gaming and most media outlets. We are reorganizing our operations in North America and Europe to strengthen our development structure and to drive globally integrated marketing strategy. This was an extremely difficult decision made by following careful consideration and analysis by our leadership in order to best position the group's long-term growth. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to the talented blah, 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 blah. So basically, Square Enix is letting go of more than 100 employees in their Western offices. This is another restructure in their Western offices. Obviously, they sold off the rights to Tomb Raider and the studio that made the Crystal Dynamics, I believe, for pennies on the dollar, just because they were trying to get out of like Western game development to an extent and restructure more. This is first reported by Rebecca Valentine, shout out Reb over at IGN, where Square Enix is up to 137 people, I believe is the number. And that's only in the UK, not counting people in the US or Canada. So this is just Square Enix being like, our Japan branch is doing a lot of the work and most of the work, and that's where a lot of our money is coming from to begin with. We're going to restructure our Western offices to be more like streamlined and stuff. So based on their previous stuff, that makes sense. This isn't that surprising. Square has been doing a lot of business restructuring, trying to publish less games in terms of like they used to put out like a game a month, and most of those games would be like good games, but they'd be overshadowed because of bad marketing, or they're the same thing, just tons of RPGs and JRPGs that people aren't going to play, or they're trying to restructure to be more streamlined to like a few things. But this sucks. More layoffs. This is affecting people at all levels of those companies and all levels of those like production pipelines. So, a lot of people haven't said if they're like people that I know that have been at Square forever haven't publicly said if they're still employed. This is going to have some long-term ramifications, especially in the West for their games. Obviously, they are already focusing more on their like IP, like their Japanese developed IP already. So this sucks. Scott, you got anything to say about this before I get into the second half?
No. So what's Square Enix's next game gonna be?
Next game?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, they just released Dragon Quest 1+2 remake, which is like so they finished that trilogy because canonically it's 3 then 1 then 2, I believe. So they released the 3 remake this time last year, and they just released 1 and 2. It's getting good reviews. So I believe the next game on their list is the Dragon Quest 7 reimagined, because I know Wesley over at not Wesley,
Game Informer?
Game Informer just published like their big Dragon Quest exposés, like a bunch of interviews and like some deep dives into the past of Dragon Quest and stuff over for their most recent issue. You should definitely go read that. A lot of it's really good. And yes, it was Wesley LeBlanc. So you go ahead.
I guess my bigger take is that I think it's so stupid that they want to have AI do quality assurance.
Oh, we're not even into that part yet.
Oh, okay. Okay. Was this the second half?
That's the second half. Well, I've already spoiled it. I mentioned it in the original Jason post, but yeah, so I'll just read this off because it's very similar. So this is I'm gonna read almost verbatim what my buddy Connor McCarr, I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. Sorry, Connor, I never asked how to pronounce it, even though we've met several times. Over at Eurogamer, who his headline is banger. It is after chasing NFTs and the metaverse, Square Enix wants generative AI to do 70% of its QA by 2027. Uh, and this is verbatim what he says in the opener here. Square Enix wants 70% of its QA work to be handled by generative AI by the end of 2027 in partnership with the University of Tokyo's Matsuo Iwasawa Laboratory. Announced in a progress report for last year's midterm business plan, the company notes its reason for doing this. The hope that through the use of automation technology, aim to improve the efficiency of QA operations and establish a competitive advantage in game development. This is a collaboration between the laboratory that they mentioned and the research team. Obviously, this is not implemented yet. They're aiming to implement it by 2027. So that's when we're going to see more layoffs if they don't happen before then, if this goes through.
Yeah.
Uh, Square Enix has stated within a year since the initiative of its midterm business plan, the company has been promoting AI utilization in Japan as part of its goal to roll out initiatives to create additional foundational stability. They've talked about AI all the time, especially recently in like their game development. As recently as like earlier this year, CEO stated at the start of 2024 that the company would be aggressive in applying AI. The company has also expressed interest in metaverse and blockchain games. That's all. That's older news in terms of like what they've been doing. They've probably pulled back on a lot of that stuff internally as that stuff has kind of flopped harder in the markets. But this sucks ass. This is not what you want to see from a legacy developer like Square Enix, especially one that is continuously publishing like really great games. Obviously, this puts a damper on like any of my excitement for their future projects, including Final Fantasy 3 remake or Final Fantasy 7 remake part 3, whatever that called. We'll probably see that at the end of December if I had to guess at the Keeleys. So yeah, that's what a lot of I know Finelli and a bunch of people call it that. So the Game Awards this year that'll probably be one of the big reveals, if not the final big reveal, is like the name and like a window or date for that. Whether that's I think that'll probably not be next year, it'll probably be the year after. But yeah, no, that is this sucks. QA people are already undervalued in terms of like what they bring to teams. They're usually the first to go in cuts, especially when they like when places consolidate studios or are just cutting people from their workforce. QA is usually one of the first places to go. It sucks because that is such an integral part of things. That's also a huge complaint from a lot of modern gamers about a lot of modern games where it's like, why does this game not work at launch? Why does this game have so many bugs at launch? Why do we need day one patches at launch when you could a lot of this stuff is easily fixable by just spending more time with QA? And it's because there's a lot of companies that aren't saying this but are definitely doing it behind the scenes where they're trying to automate it with AI or cut as many corners as possible, because the big wigs in charge of these companies and specifically in charge of the C-suites that own these companies or the C-suite execs that are in charge of these companies that over the years that have been slowly put in charge of these companies over the years are trying to find the easiest way to cut corners, and they think that this is the way that they can get away with it, and they can just gotta walk away from any of the divisive statements made because in the end people will still buy the games.
It philosophically it just doesn't make any sense because for quality like AI is we've been talking about how generative AI in particular is like based off what already exists. It doesn't come up with anything new. It doesn't innovate. The whole nine yards that we've talked about so much so far. Essentially, what that would mean for quality assurance and bug testing is like if there was ever like a new bug that developed or something that you'd never like anticipated or come across before, like the AI wouldn't know how to solve that. It would have no frame of reference for how to do so. And I think it's quality assurance in general, like should be handled by a human because the game's going into hands of humans who are going to absolutely grade and judge the quality of whatever product.
But Scott, that costs money.
Yeah, but if you put out a better quality product, you make more money.
But what if I didn't have to do that?
Then you'll make worse products, and then you'll be making less money anyway. And so now you've.
But Scott, that means I can lay more people off and save more money.
Well, then I mean, eventually it reaches a point where you're just your development costs penny. I mean, if the slippery slope is development costs pennies and you're bringing in nickels. And at that point, why are you even doing like why are you even doing business anymore? Like you're not like you're it's so you've reduced costs to such an amount that the amount you're bringing in, the quality so poor, the amount you're bringing in isn't even worth any of it. Like why even like have a business at that point? Like if it costs like $100,000 and I like this is I don't know how I'm just this is I'm not saying games cost $100,000, but if you spend $100,000 you make $1,000,000, that's great. If you spend $100 and make 1,000, like your profits are like yeah your cost to profit ratio is still the same, but the amount of actual profits you're making are just going way down. So it just business wise it
I
doesn't
think
make
they're betting
sense.
on like these companies are betting on AI improving to a point where it can do these like what they view as lower tier jobs
Hmm.
for nothing essentially, or just by training these modules to
Oh
do it and having
I
oversight. Oh, what's up?
I have to interrupt you.
Uh-oh.
I have I have it's not game related. It's just I just saw the worst thing ever.
Oh god.
Um so right now it's the Lions playing the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how they have like the commentators in the booth?
Oh no.
Donald Trump just joined them in the booth and he's talking over over a football game.
I thought I could
I
never
can't believe
want to talk about AI any like something more or less than AI.
I just I can't believe they actually put him on. I mean, it's Fox. I'm not that surprised,
I'm not
honestly. If it
surprised
were
at
any other
all. You didn't even
if
have
it
to
were
say
any
the
other
network. I
network,
know what network it is.
yeah, like CBS is like, we ain't doing that shit. Fuck that.
Look, whatever, man.
Sorry, I was so caught off guard. I'm like it's something like a nagging little thing was catching the corner of my eye. And I
You're
was like,
fine.
who's that old man with a red tie just droning? Oh God, he's the leader of the free world. Fuck off. Um,
Look,
sorry to derail,
no,
but
it's
you
fine.
know.
The conversation was pretty much over at that point. Like it's just that these companies are betting on AI to like improve to a point where it can replace these workers, and then they can have normal the people at the top that do like the oversight, essentially like look over the work and make sure that it's good, and then go from there. But like, is AI ever going to reach that point in terms of like practicality and finding things that humans would find? Like the reason QA testing exists in the first place, like all these note taking and like the feedbacks and stuff. Like, will it be the same? Well, could it ever reach those levels? Uh, just all of these different question marks that they don't know, but they're already trying to experiment with because they just want to save some money. I, it's slowly losing the human touch, but they're a business, so they don't care. Which is sad to say about a company that is based on art and is only here because people created art in the first place.
Mhm.
Like some of these tech companies, like whatever, like oh Microsoft is super big into AI. Of course they are because they started as a like they started as a small tech firm and now they're a big tech firm, but they're always been tech. Like a video game company that started as a video game company, you would think would have more regard for like the artistic value of a thing, but it's becoming more and more apparent that especially at these bigger companies that is not the case. So Scott, we talked about Square Enix, how Square Enix is doing more layoffs and getting into AI
Mhm.
even more, and how we're not surprised by that. We talked about how GTA is delayed, and we're not surprised by that. Uh, Scott, now we're going to talk about how Ale Infinite is dead, quote unquote
Mhm.
dead, and we're also not surprised by that.
Being put out to pasture, I think is the would be the
It's
better.
doing the live service equivalent of, hey, thanks for buying our game or playing it on Game Pass and supporting it for X amount of years. I know we said that we were going to update this game for 10 years and it's called Infinite because we wanted it to be like the infinite home for like all these content updates, but also it did not perform to our standards. Like there's not enough people playing it to justify us doing another 6 years of updates. So the final update in terms of like our big plan, our big strategy is coming. There could be updates in the future, but we're not sure about that. And also we'll just keep doing like the usual small stuff. So specifically reading from this is from Zach Zweisen, I believe is how you pronounce it. Probably wrong. At Kotaku, who and this is also just like a statement from Halo Studios. With multiple Halo titles in development, this is Halo Studios' statement. We'll need our whole team's combined focus to deliver new experiences with the same passion and care that our community has given us. We remain committed to supporting Halo Infinite on the road ahead. Operation Infinite, which is the final update that they were talking about, is the last major content update currently planned. So again, not saying that there won't be future content updates for Infinite. That's just the only one that was on their original roadmap that's planned. There probably won't be any more major ones, but that does not mean the game is just being cut from support entirely, like some live service games would be, or anything like that. And it's not going away in any shape or form. There's obviously still the campaign and everything. It is a Halo game, after all.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is only after 4 years.
Yeah.
Of a 10-year plan.
There was a 10-year plan for Infinite?
I believe so. That's what all the things I was saying is like it's a 10-year support plan for Halo Infinite was the original goal. So this is
no. I think I think after launch it was pretty clear that that was a bit of a fool's dream, which is sad because I think the big sentiment I've seen and that I felt, not just from people I've played with, but from media and the general fan base, is that gameplay wise, this was one of the best Halo games in terms of the shooting and the pickups. Maps were pretty good, modes were pretty good. Just you kind of, for a big main release Halo game, it's not like Call of Duty where you can skimp on the campaign and focus on the multiplayer. You gotta have a good campaign. And this one just didn't. Like, I like that they tried open world stuff, but it really didn't hit.
I played it when the campaign launched. Because we played multiplayer when it launched, and we had a good time with it. Some of the guys at Dot jumped in and played some of that multiplayer. We had some fun nights there, and that was the first Halo game I played multiplayer on since like Reach. I had a really good time with it. I mean, obviously, I don't have an extensive history with Halo, but I had a good time with it playing, and I played some more on my own too. And I tried the campaign, and I enjoyed it, but it's so open and so not engaging for someone who has no real connection to a lot of the Halo stuff, that I dropped off really hard, especially because there was no co-op.
Yeah.
Which was the main reason I wanted.
No Forge at launch too,
like,
which is a huge fumble.
If it had co-op at launch, I would have played it with my buddy who wants me to play Halo with him, like wants me to go through the Halo games with him, and I was like, I would have played it with him if it was at launch, but I stopped after probably 5 or 6 hours, just because I was like, there's so much openness here, but nothing compelling me to go forward other than the gameplay, which I can get through the multiplayer. I'd rather play that. So I don't know. We don't really need to hash out on this. This is like, again, it's not ending support entirely. There'll be new cosmetics probably. There'll be new, like they confirmed that weekly and dailies will continue.
It's the New World thing where they have what they are planning.
No, this is more than New World. Because New World's not getting any updates in the future. Like, they're not getting anything. This is...
Oh, they're not getting stuff that was already planned?
No. Like, the last update probably will be the last big content drop for New World. As in, like, they're not developing much at all, if anything, for that game anymore. It's just on live support. This isn't Halo Infinite going on live support. This is them saying, hey, the original roadmap where we had, like, a bunch of huge updates planned for it probably not going to shape out anything beyond what we're launching with this one, but they're not saying, hey, we're just done developing for the game. There's probably going to be new cosmetics, probably going to be like they already confirmed weekly and dailies will continue. There's going to be more rewards. They're probably going to continue to tweak things and improve the experience. It's just that this is not the main focus of whatever experience they're going to be, which has become clearer over the last 2 years. So not surprising. It's just, that's why we're not going to need to hash out on it.
I think the next like big Halo experience, whatever it will be, when it's a brand new game, I think we probably won't, like, I mean, a foolish hope that we hear it during the Keeley's coming up, but we probably won't. It'll probably be in 2026.
Yeah, I would assume so.
That feels like a Summer Game Fest or Gamescom reveal.
It all depends on when the Halo,
or they could wait until next year's Keeley's. I'm glad you brought that up, because I actually really like going to the Keeley's. Because then that might coincide with when Halo Infinite, like a year removed from the end of what's it called? The end of what they announced just this past week.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed. I played a lot of Halo Infinite. I thought it was really fun.
It was fun.
Multiplayer was great. I was really confused as to why they decided to announce the campaign remaster at the Halo Championship. It just seems like
it felt weird, but it's one of those things.
Weird. It's like, hey, we know Halo esports is going away, but don't worry. And a lot of you are now wondering what to do for a job or your career. Don't worry, we're making a campaign remaster. And it's like,
I feel like
okay.
you're right, and we will see something at the Keeleys this year that's like the next big Halo
It's gonna
thing.
be a tease. It's gonna be real.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a long
because I
ways away.
think
It's gonna
it's
be a
gonna. I
little
think we're
tease.
gonna get this Halo, the Combat Evolved, combat whatever the moniker is. I think we're gonna get that.
Campaign evolved.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get that earlier than we're expecting next year.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be a summer thing. I think they're gonna do Forza because I think Forza 6 is next
Halo
year.
feels like it feels like a summer.
It's gonna be like
Like feels like
it all depends because things are gonna get screwed because of like GTA and stuff.
a.
So,
Mhm.
because if Forza's the summer game, which I'm thinking it is, it's probably like the like April, May, June game.
Mhm.
Are they gonna try and do campaign evolved like a month before Gears? Like that feels like too soon.
That's yeah, and you don't. I don't think you want Halo and
I
Gears getting
know.
too
So
close
are
to
they
each
gonna
other because
push Forza
those
further
are two
back?
very that's a big
Is Gears gonna
inner
be the
circle in
early? Is
that Venn
Gears gonna be in that
diagram.
Doom slot?
That's a good question. That's yeah. I
Something
think they've got
something has to be late spring. Something has to be summer, which Forza feels like the summer game.
does feel like a summer game, but so is
So
Halo.
I know. So the question is, then do you push?
Gears is like a November Christmas game.
But do you? How does GTA affect that? That's the question. Of like, because we don't know. We know Gears is further along, at least as far as we know, than Halo is. Because
Push up Gears.
that's what I'm
Push up
thinking.
Gears to the summer.
Gears to that like spring
Or E
summer
Day.
slot.
E Day.
Yeah, and then do Forza to split it up, and then you still have
Mm-hmm.
time to do Halo in like the October slot, the September
Yeah,
October.
I think you can pair Forza with either Halo or Gears. Just because I don't think the crossover is that big. Yeah, I know it's two big Xbox things come at the
And
same
Forza is
time,
a
but I
completely
don't.
different audience, and people come like
Yeah,
that's going to sell
but
forever.
Halo and Gears, I would not want
Exactly. You
that
don't want too much of
in
the
in
same
the
thing
same
close
window.
together. But like the real
Yeah, because
question here is
there's so many fans of both.
if we see a tease of Halo at the Keeleys, the new
Mm-hmm.
Halo, the one with the multiplayer or whatever that is,
Mm-hmm.
I assume that's not launching next year. We will then get the announcement of whatever that is in full during some kind of Halo broadcast for the anniversary, and that's going to be the 2027 game.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
whatever. We've talked about this for too long. The
Yeah.
Halo.
You know what else isn't? You know what else isn't launching next year?
Hey, Scott. Now we get to talk about how Marvel 1943 Rise of the Hydra is delayed. And no one is surprised except for the people who forgot this game existed because we still haven't seen anything
Yeah.
substantial about this game other than
Yeah.
like one trailer that didn't have gameplay.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, so this
yeah.
this comes from. I'll read the update from Skydance official.
Yeah, and then
we can get
I'll take
into it.
over with Ethan's article.
So this is from Skydance, who've yet to release a game. Just saying, because this game's pretty ridiculous.
Don't worry,
at
they
this
got
point.
plenty of money considering what just happened with the big payout for
That's true. Huh?
oh my god.
Good for them. At Skydance Games, our goal is to deliver unforgettable premium games that honor the characters and worlds we're fortunate to work with. Marvel 1943, Rise of Hydra, is an ambitious project. We are committed to ensuring it meets the level of quality that our teams, players, and fans expect. To fully realize our vision, we've made a decision to shift our release window beyond early 2026. So no new window. And now I'll finish it. And yeah, the rest of the statement's just, we're grateful. The team's working hard.
Yeah, so
So yeah, no new window for it.
you want a little bit of backstory here?
I would not expect this game to come out in 2026. Yeah, go ahead.
So this is pulled from a mixture of Ethan Gach's article at Kotaku and then also just like the Wikipedia and general information about the game. This game was originally revealed in 2021. We got our first full teaser of the game at D23 2022. The first actual trailer with no gameplay in 2024. This is and then this is from Ethan Gach specifically. It is for anyone who hasn't been following the project. Rise of Hydra takes place in an occupied Paris and is based on the limited comic book series Captain America, Black Panther, Flags of Our Fathers. Action Adventure Game sports a team up between Steve Rogers, Azuri, Howling Commandos members Gabriel Jones, and Wakandan spy chief Nanali, I believe is how you pronounce that. So the concept of this game is really cool. We've heard a lot about this game in like bits and pieces from like over the years. We've still never seen gameplay. We haven't gotten like a full deep dive on it. I don't even think with the people behind. There might have been like a behind the scenes thing at like one of these events that it got shown off of, where people saw a little bit of things,
Mhm.
but I still don't think it was gameplay. So like, we have seen legitimately nothing of concrete evidence that this game exists in a form beyond concept and
Mhm.
like visuals from like the trailers. So
Mhm.
this feels like out of all the games we talked about, the one that has the least likely chance of coming out, because we've already seen the Black Panther game from EA canceled. Um, we have no idea. Wasn't EA also working on an Iron Man game? I believe.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
by the Anthem people,
yeah.
which
Which
I
God,
mean that would have been great. That
yeah.
honestly would have been great.
Well, that one didn't
As
get
much
canceled
as
yet,
like,
so that one might still happen.
let's hope we'll see.
Who knows, man? But yeah, no. This feels like the one that is most likely to just disappear into the ether with no new date, because who knows? Isn't this also a Hennig joint? Amy Hennig?
Yeah, I believe actually.
Has one of her games come out recently? Like out of the last like
That's a
three?
great question.
That's like that. That's what sucks the most, almost, because she
Okay,
canceled Star Wars game. I know
her
that, the
okay.
1313 or whatever.
According to her Wikipedia page, she was credited with story concept on Forspoken in 2023, which was a game that
Yep,
came out.
overhated, but
uh,
yeah, it is sure a game.
Overhated, but also not like
Hey,
anything
another
to
Square
like
Enix joint.
not an Uncharted game. The last thing before that was a writer for Battlefield Hardline. It's like, it's a multiplayer game. What are you writing?
Yeah,
I don't know how big a campaign that one had, but that was like, that was like trying to like make more like urban, like focusing on like
the big one
crime
is
and
the big
heisting and
one
police as opposed to
was
like military shooter, which like
yeah.
people didn't really want from a
Yeah, and then the
Battlefield
big
game. So
one that is Star Wars 1313, right? That was her, and that got canceled.
that was originally yes, which, oh man, because like I always think when I ever think about games that have been canceled or games that I so often think about, man, if you gave this game the Nemesis system and like a Star Wars bounty hunting
Yeah. Oh
game
yeah.
that took place. I've been saying, I said this already, that if you gave Star Wars Outlaws the Nemesis system, that would have been like, I think Outlaws is a great game. That would have been but that would have been even better. That
Look,
would have
I
been
don't need to
incredible.
get into Warner
Um,
Brothers talk at this point about like the Nemesis
sure,
system
yeah,
and
we're sad enough
garbage.
already, but yeah, I do think there is. I mean, clearly there is an appetite for Marvel games. Rivals has been still great.
There,
Insomniac has been doing incredible work,
there
and
are
the
good.
Wolverine game is going to be great.
There is good to come from partnerships like this, but
Yes.
it's starting to feel more and more like the partnerships have to come not at the expense of the developers, but with the developers. Like, and shout out to John Drake and the people at like the Disney licensing for the games companies and stuff. The Simpsons thing with Fortnite has been awesome. Seeing like all
Yeah.
that stuff, like the way they implemented like a bunch of the elements of the show into this like shortened little half season that they're doing, has been like really fun. Just seeing it from a distance. Yeah, like they're doing good work, and I think they have the best. Well, obviously they have like business in mind first, but like a lot of the people that they're working with seem to care about like what they're working on and stuff. So I hope we see more of that in the future, where it ends up being like an Insomniac run, where like they find a developer and a partner that will treat these IP right, treat the developers right, and then like the product matches. But we haven't seen a lot of that, because even like the NetEase stuff has been like that had layoffs, that had us a bunch of
Mhm.
stuff in terms of like the art and like assets and like microtransaction that hasn't been good. Like Insomniac feels like the only real win in
Yeah.
terms of like a partnership here with the Marvel IP that is like fully realized in a way that we've gotten 3 games that are all great, to like varying levels of like the greatness and like the storytelling, and then we're getting another one next year that will probably live up to that with like a completely different feel. So we'll move on from that. I do want to talk about this next one's actually really exciting, because this is good news across the board.
Mm,
For the most part, it
finally.
depends on how you feel about Nintendo movies.
What are we, an hour in? Finally.
Yeah, good news an hour in. You know, it'll be like that. But yeah, so this is a big section of just general Nintendo topics that I kind of lump together, because they're all from like the earnings call and then also all play into each other a little bit. But Nintendo wants more movies and aren't aiming for a Switch 2 price increase. So, as expected, and we'll get into the specifics of the Switch 2 price increase, the price increase kind of came baked into the console, it felt like, with the tariffs in mind. That 450 price point for the console itself, I believe, is where the console sits at 450. Um, not counting any of the bundles, because like I got mine for 500 with Mario Kart World. So
Mm.
that 450 price range feels like it already took into account that they would need to increase the price because of things. So we'll get into that here in a second. First, let's talk about the movies. So, did you see the Pillsbury leak today? And yes, I said Pillsbury.
Are they making a Doughboy movie?
No. So, the Pillsbury is partnering with Nintendo and Universal, I believe, and they're making Yoshi egg cookies, or like cookie dough. And
I will be buying that.
they leaked the first look of Yoshi in the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which looks good.
Funny.
It looks like a design that would fit the movie. So that was like, there's a whole bunch of discussion going on. The first trailer is rumored to be in front of the new Wicked movie, so we'll probably get a full like trailer for the movie soon. But this is from Chris Scullion at VGC talking about the specifics of Nintendo wanting to do more movies. And this is to preface, Nintendo is actually very involved in like the process of these movies. Like, they are not just like a company that has an IP and they hand like I guess wasn't 2K at the time when the movie went into production, but with Borderlands, like the Borderlands movie, that's just the IP getting handed off to writers and the teams at the movie studio doing that. Nintendo is actively involved. Like, when Miyamoto shows up on the Nintendo Directs to talk about the movies, like, he's actively involved in like the development process of these movies and stuff. And it feels like that's going to continue to be the case, because in this quote pulled from VGC, but it's from like a post earnings call discussion. I don't remember who actually. Scott, can you look up who said this? I think it's Nintendo president Furukawa.
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
So, but this is for the Super Mario Bros. Movie and the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Our own Shigeru Miyamoto has served as a co-producer alongside Mr. Chris Meledandria of Illumination. For the live-action movie The Legend of Zelda, Shigeru Miyamoto is co-producing with Mr. Avi Arad of Arad Productions Inc. and has been closely involved since the initial planning stages. Furukawa also noted that Nintendo set up animation production company Nintendo Pictures, which is a mix of like purchasing an animation studio that did shorts for them, and then also like some internal hiring and moving around, and has been closely which was responsible for the recent Pikmin animated short that kind of went viral because no one really knew what it was until they released a version of it where you could see the Pikmin. And that was in 2022 with getting the Nintendo Pictures. And then later this year launched Nintendo Stars, a subsidiary aimed at proposing new ways to enjoy our characters through various licensing and secondary user initiatives. It's not the first time Nintendo's talked about doing more in terms of like the entertainment spaces, specifically in movies. On the earnings call, there were 2 unannounced movie projects that were post Zelda. So the Mario Galaxy movie, Zelda, and then 2 that haven't been announced yet, that are presumably already in discussions and or production in some stage. So they're very hands-on with this and going full on in it. It sounds like we might get Nintendo Pictures doing the Pixar short kind of content. They might try and do their own thing as shorts before the Illumination movies, and then just keep trying to do their own thing internally at like a smaller scale.
Yeah. What really stood out to me is Nintendo Stars, which you said was a subsidiary aimed at proposing quote new ways to enjoy our characters through various licensing and secondary use initiatives. I mean, the thing that stands out the most is like, do we get Nintendo characters in Fortnite?
No, I don't think
sure?
so. It depends on the character. It depends on the character.
Yeah.
So,
I think you could give. I think Mega Man could get away.
Well, Mega
with
Man's
it
not Nintendo. That's Capcom, Scott. How dare you?
I'm clearly a fake gamer.
Samus could work.
Samus would be good.
Samus could work. I don't think they'd do it.
No, they
Star Fox could work.
Star Fox, yes, because he has used up gun.
Yeah, so Star Fox could work. I just don't think Nintendo's interested in that like kind of thing, because they've crossed over with Rocket League when that launched on Switch. They did Mario and Luigi and Samus cars for Rocket League. I just don't know if they're interested in the Fortnite angle, especially with their characters now and their kind of how they like to promote themselves. Now, I will say, with the initiatives and like other licensing and stuff, I have a feeling that means we're going to start getting more than just movies. We're going to start, like I said, my idea in my head is that they're going to start doing like shorts before the Illumination movies, like their own shorts, kind of like that Pikmin one, in the same vein as like the Pixar shorts that some of them eventually became movies or like really beloved. I feel like we're probably going to get some of that, whether it's to expand the Mario universe a little bit or shorts for other properties like Pikmin, maybe Splatoon. The idea here might start seeing TV shows. Licensing,
Hmm.
you typically means working with companies. Like, so Netflix, already have a good, quote unquote, good relationship with Universal, which is under Paramount, and Paramount just went through this huge merger, so who knows what's going to happen there. But they already have a relationship with Paramount, so I don't know if they do exclusive like Peacock shows. That doesn't seem like something they'd be like super interested in, considering their market share and how the Mario movies on Netflix and stuff, and how popular it is on Netflix. Another thing that happened right outside Angelo's in Philadelphia. There was a kid they were wearing a Minions hat and whistling the Mario theme song. Like, this just happened in the wild. Like, it's working. Like, the kids that
It's working.
it's working. The marketing strategy is working. You're getting kids into Mario along with the Minions.
Yes.
So, I feel like we're gonna start seeing more like shows, like maybe more shorts,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. I think
And
that's
films.
more where we're
And
headed.
still films. More films past 2027
I
too.
want to see. Okay, we'll move on from this really quick, but I do want to. What is your most wanted like Nintendo film? Like if they went not Mario, not Zelda, because those two are already happening. What's your
I
IP that you want
think
to see the most?
I think I would like to see a Star Fox film
I think it's Star
or
Fox
like
or
a
Metroid.
show. Metroid would be good. I think I'd like Star Fox
I think
more.
Star Fox would work
Like I
more
think
as a movie because Metroid's more of like a Metroid. They'd have to like work really hard to, because you can't just make it like a sci-fi action
Mhm.
movie. It would have to be like an experience kind of thing. I think Star
Yeah.
Fox is an easier sell, and you can make that more kid friendly.
Yeah. Not
Um,
necessarily a franchise because it's like well, I mean it is a franchise, but it's made up of like other franchises from other IPs. What would you think would be a better movie? A Smash Brothers movie or a Mario Kart movie?
Mario Kart, easier to get a cast together from what you already have.
Hmm.
Like you,
Yeah, I think I
that's like a crossover movie you could do for like the Mario movies without having to bring anything else in, because I don't know if they're going to do crossovers. I don't think that's something they're
Mhm.
super interested in right now. Smash, you would have to do a lot, and we've already got Link in live action, which doesn't say you can't just use the actors and like bring them over as like to voice the animated characters. That's literally, there's actors voicing the animated characters now in Mario, so it's not
Mhm.
impossible to see that. It's just I think it's easier to do a Mario Kart movie. If they're gonna do a racing movie, F-Zero, please, God, just like any
Mm.
crumb of like F-Zero anything, I think that would make a sick. But I think that would make a better. You could do an F-Zero animated movie, like for like Netflix or
Mm.
something. You don't have to make that a big budget. That's
That'd be
what.
like a that'd have to be
We're,
like Speed Racer, like a live action thing.
don't start talking about Speed Racer. We're never getting another. I'm sad. That's like one of my favorite things ever. And we're never like we can't even get a 4K version of that movie natively because of how poorly they treated that movie. God. Anyways, let's move on to the next talk, like the next part of this story. Um,
Mhm.
this is Nintendo specifically talking about the not raising the prices of the Nintendo Switch 2. Partially
Mm.
because of like a lot of like speculation and stuff on our part about like, oh yeah, they've already baked that in and stuff just because of the price point initially. But this is pulled from Itagaki Kotaku from a Q&A thing right after the investors call, or during the investors call that just happened recently. This is obviously Nintendo President Shuntaro Furukawa saying, "We believe that we'll be able to maintain the current level of profitability for hardware for the time being, unless there are significant changes in external factors such as a shift in tariff assumptions or other unexpected events. While we are aware that the cost of various materials are rising, we also anticipate some areas where cost reduction may be achieved for Nintendo 2 through ongoing mass production efforts." This is basically them just saying, and obviously he continues, therefore, currently we do not expect the recent rise in material costs to greatly impact profitability. We will continue our efforts to maintain the same level of profitability as we currently have. This is just them saying, hey, no plans to do anything right now. We're at a level where we're
Mhm.
comfortable. We're seeing profitability. We're seeing a lot of good sales, which we'll touch on a little bit here in a sec. And like, we're happy with where we're at. And we think we can maintain a good balance between like the rising costs and also falling costs, because they're taking into account like how much they need to mass produce things to meet their demand for the Switch 2, because they've already talked about like how they're trying to get a certain amount of Switches into the market before like halfway through the new year or halfway through next year. So great news if you ever plan on buying a Switch 2, like even for the holidays or like some point next year. It sounds like Nintendo has already taken into account a lot of stuff. Now, who knows what's going to happen with the people in charge, especially in the US, like of how, like, it's not just a US thing. Like, obviously,
Mhm.
the tariff stuff is almost specifically hitting at the US and our idiots in charge and how stupid these
Yeah.
tariffs are. But the idea of, um, like the cost of like these productions, like the cost of RAM is skyrocketing right now. The like specific like there's all the issues with like China's recent like discussions and like ongoing like negotiations in terms of their rare metals. There's a whole lot of other factors to play into this other than just like the US as like a focal point. So it's not just taking that into account, but it sounds like they're comfortable with their current production pipeline to the point where they have no current plans to do what Sony and Xbox has done, where it's raising the base price of their older hardware. And the Switch 2 was already cheaper than their older
Mm.
hardware, and now it's cheaper than their newer like the newer Sony hardware and Xbox hardware too. So feels like Nintendo's
No,
in a really good spot right now.
they're in a really good spot right
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
So Scott, go ahead and if you have any thoughts, share them here before I get into
No,
like
this
some
is.
of the
I
news
think
we're
this is gonna
seeing.
be. I think you hit all the points. This is gonna be great. I think it's gonna be a very good holiday weekend for the
Oh
Switch 2.
well, especially because you would think that like
Now you have the release, the Switch 2 release catalog of games, like a complete
which has
catalog
been a
featuring
lot
Mario
stronger than
Kart,
people were expecting.
Bonanza, Pokemon ZA.
Like Pokemon
Um,
ZA, we just got Age of Imprisonment, which got good reviews.
mhm,
We just we're getting Kirby Air Riders, which looks like a giant mess of just Sakurai getting to do whatever he wants, which is great. And then
yeah,
you still got Metroid Prime in December, along with Pokemon DLC in December too. So like
mhm,
the launch lineup actually, especially for like a 6 to 7 month window, looks really good without
this
knowing
is
what's
really
coming.
good.
Without
Yeah.
knowing what's coming, but like specifically the Switch 2, this is pulling from Andrew Robinson of VGC. Nintendo Switch 2's phenomenal launch momentum continued through September with 10.36 million consoles sold by the end of the month. So it is already outsold within that same time span through 2 quarters, financial quarters. It's outsold the original Switch, which was at 4.7, the PlayStation 4, which is 7.5, and the PlayStation 5, which is 7.8. So it's already selling better than those. Obviously, different factors taken into account, but yeah, it's the biggest,
Yeah,
comfortably the biggest console launch ever. So
they're doing great.
this is Nintendo's winning a lot right now. Um, Now, if we would like to get into the quick hits, Scott, and then we can get into
Mhm.
a little bit of a game, little
A
fun
little game.
games. So obviously this is more my wheelhouse. Pokemon Legends EA obviously just announced that its DLC is launching December 10th, I believe is the date. This is going to be, bear with me, this is a $30 DLC. It's a
Okay.
lot. It looks like it's going to take place it's hyperspace Lumio City, so it is the
Mhm.
same map but
In
Technicolor.
space. Oh, okay.
And
I think you were gonna
I'm
say
sure
it's gonna
there's
be in
more to
space.
it than what we've seen. I haven't deep dove the trailer or anything. There's a returning character named Karina who's a really important part of X and Y. That is going to dive more into Mega Evolution. There's going to be more Mega Evolutions. We got 2 revealed. We're getting Mega Excalibur, which is dope because that's a Gen 9 Mega. So that's Scarlet and Violet, new Pokemon, getting a Mega. So that's sick. And then also Trimeco, which really needed a Mega. That was sick. It also looks like a giant Chingling, which is the baby form of Trimeco. Looks sick. Really, really happy with those. We're getting more news on the 19th, I believe. So they're probably going to do similar to how they did the lead up to Scarlet and Violet or ZA, where up until like 2 weeks before they're going to show like a couple new megas or something, and then cut it off right before the DLC is like entering its launch cycle, and then we'll see the rest of launch. But this is $30, so if you didn't like base game ZA, you don't have to worry about it. It's going to be more of the same. They are notably they are breaking the level 100 cap for the first time in Pokemon. So this is reading from the
That's sacred,
I
though. I
know,
don't know if it
right?
is.
People were freaking out about that because it's like, oh, what does that mean? But they explained it a little bit here. So in Mega Dimension, which is the name of the DLC, trainers will revisit Lumios as spatial distortions begin to form around the city. There's a new character who is accompanied by the mythical Pokemon Hoopa. Her name is Ansha. She's a donut chef, which is hilarious because
Hmm.
Hoopa's rings got the rings that open the dimensions. will guide players as they explore the mysterious dimension known as hyperspace Lumios. The not quite Lumios city is home to newly discovered Mega Evolved Pokemon and other Pokemon not usually found in Lumios, some of which can exceed the limit of level 100 with hyperspace levels. So they're like extra levels added on top. You will be basically making these donuts before you go in on like these excursions that will boost your stats. So boost your Pokemon stats above level 100.
I mean, every donut I've ever eaten has boosted my happiness
Dude, I had
stats,
a
so
donut. I
that's
had my first donut in like 6 months at the airport on the way back because we stopped at a Dunkin' for coffee just because we got to the airport
Why?
early.
Because you're on the East Coast, yeah.
Yeah, well, it was just in the airport. So, but it was so good. And I was like, I don't need to get back into eating donuts as much as I did. Uh,
Yeah,
but yeah,
you
so
can.
this looks dope. It's we're probably gonna get at least a dozen new megas through this. The mechanics seem cool. I'm gonna need to see more before I can like
A dozen, huh?
a dozen. Yeah,
But we need to,
that'd be really
we
funny
need
if
to
it's a
just
dozen is flat.
that'd be funny if it was a baker's dozen. There was 13 of them.
That would be really funny. Uh,
A baker's dozen of new
but yeah,
megas.
also along with this, they released a special extra side mission where you can catch Mega Diancie or catch Diancie, which is a mythical Pokemon that's been like relatively hard to come by unless you're like you've done some events in the past. God, that catch rate was terrible. I did it in my hotel room in Philly, and I spent like 30 minutes trying to catch that thing. It was hell. But yeah, this seems cool. I'm excited because I love lore, and it sounds like we're gonna get some more cool lore about like Mega Evolution and some characters. So I'm in, but I'm always in. So I'll probably report back once this is out, and be like, yeah, yay or nay on spending $30 on this because that's a lot. If it's
That's a
just
lot.
like
That's a lot.
depending on how long it is. So we'll see. Next up, we've got a cool little thing from the Steam Deck. So this is from VGC, Chris Scullion again. Valve has finally updated the Steam Deck firmware with one of the most frequently requested features, and that is being able to download games while the screen is off. So it's like power saving mode now lets you complete updates, complete downloads and stuff without having to leave the screen on. It's just great little feature.
It's crazy that it didn't have that at first.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. That's weird.
But
It's
that's
only in the
good,
beta and
yeah.
preview channels, so they're still
Mhm.
testing it. But it is going to roll out in full to people who are just on standard Steam Deck firmware if they don't want to run like some of the beta test stuff. So yeah, that's cool. So if you want that, you can go turn it on pretty easily in the settings. It looks like you just got to go to your settings and like switch some things on how your battery power runs and everything. So that's fun. And then last little bit of news is that FromSoft's parent company reveals Elden Ring DLC is coming, or Elden Ring Night Rain DLC is coming by March. So this is from Vicky Blake over at Eurogamer. We are aiming to further sales. Sales obviously has to do with sales growth, not content. We are aiming to further sales growth.
That's the only thing that
Yeah,
matters.
it's so fucking stupid. Sales growth for Elden Ring Night Rain, original Elden Ring and its DLC. This is from pulled from Games Radar Plus for them. But we have multiple game titles in development pipeline. From Software is currently developing Night Rain, Elden Ring Night Rain DLC planned for release in fiscal year 2025. Elden Ring Tarnished Edition planned for release in 2026, which is still crazy that did not come out this year for Switch 2. The fact that was not the fact that they fumbled that, they had Skyrim at launch for the Switch, and that did so well, and they couldn't manage. First off, I've heard not great things about how the Tarnished Edition runs. Obviously, it's going to be a lesser version of the game.
On Switch too?
Yeah, from preview events and stuff. People are making jokes that's why it's called the Tarnished Edition. If that gives you any idea, but the fact that they fumbled that to the point where it's still going to sell well and it'll still help sell Switches to like people who are like, oh yeah, it's got Elden Ring on it, cool, I'll pick it up. So you don't have to buy a console or a PC, but that it's whatever. It's supposed to come out fiscal year 2025, I believe, ends March 31st. So typically that means it'll probably launch prior to that, barring delay. So that's cool for anybody who I know a lot of people really like Night Rain's replayability. So there you go, cool for you. I'm not a FromSoft guy, so I can't really speak on it that much. All right, Scott.
I should probably play Elden Ring at some point.
I want that'll probably be the first Dark Souls ish game I play because I've heard nothing but good things, and I know I will like the lore of it just from what I know. So I will that will probably be the first one I give a shot.
I played a little Dark Souls too.
Yeah.
So I probably and a Bloodborne. I played a little Bloodborne.
I have not played that either, even though I think I own that. All right, are you ready for the first game, Scott?
Yes.
Okay, so this is actually from an article on VGC. Shout out Chris Scullion again. Uh, this is IP holders are sitting on a wealth of content. Analytics firm lists 18 games ripe for remake or remaster success.
Mhm.
These are 3 categories pulled from Ampere. So there are ready for remake, ready for remaster, or remake or remaster. You have to. So I'm going to give you the number of games that are in one of these categories, and we're going to go through each of these 3 categories, and you have to guess. I'll give you some hints if you need some hints, but you're going to guess the number. These are big games. Most of these are like pretty big games. So you're going to guess what this study has put on these under these categories.
Okay.
So first is remake.
Okay. What am I guessing?
You are guessing the name of the game that this firm, this analytics firm has said is like prime material for a remake or remaster.
Oh, I'm gonna be so exposed as a fake gamer.
So, and this is a note: IP holders are sitting on a wealth of content ripe for remakes and remasters, and stressing that they've stressed this isn't exhaustive, and this is identifying like specific titles. So we're starting with remake. So this is like full on remake, like from the ground up. So you can assume that these will probably be older. I'll give you that hint.
Okay. Sure.
So there are 7 games in this category.
Okay. Ready for remake.
Ready for remake. Out of these 7 games, I'd say 5 of them you could guess relatively easily. 2 of them are a little bit on the outside. So I will I'll go in order and I'll give you a hint. So I'll give you a hint for each one. The first one is Ubisoft.
This would be the original Assassin's Creed.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Okay. Second, Square Enix.
This is probably a Final Fantasy game.
No. Let me give you a second hint. Not quite Square Enix.
Not quite Square Enix.
Square was there.
Square was there.
The Enix part not so much.
It's like a we'll pass.
Square Soft. Prior to being Square Enix, this is Chrono Trigger.
Oh, okay. See, I told you I'm gonna get exposed as a fake gamer. I was not playing good games as a kid.
Yep, that's fair.
I was never in the PlayStation.
To be fair, that's also like when we were young, so you probably weren't playing Chrono Trigger that when it released anyways. Third, Nintendo. You can also just ask for the second hint if you can't think of if it's too broad.
Okay. A full remake of a Nintendo.
Full remake, and most of these are like the ones that you've gotten so far are like among the 5 that I was like these are classic games that are like venerated. Like
I'm gonna say, is it a Zelda game?
Correct.
Is it Ocarina of Time?
No.
Is it Wind Waker?
No.
Is it Majora's Mask?
No. Would you like your second hint?
Yeah.
2D.
Oh, is it Twilight Princess?
That is not 2D.
See, like I said, big gamer. What was the 2D one?
There's a lot.
It wasn't Skyward Sword.
Nope.
Was it?
You just named every 3. You named in order every 3D Zelda game.
Don't tell me, please.
Did you give up? Is that it?
Yeah, just tell me.
A Link to the Past.
Oh,
which didn't that get?
Yeah.
Which one got the 2D 3D like clay model looking one on the Switch? That was Awakening, Link's Awakening. So the other like really highly acclaimed older 2D one. Okay. Next. Bethesda.
Oh, this will be Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas.
Close.
It wouldn't be a remake of 4, or like remakes of 1 and 2, because those were very different. Because those were like
correct. It's the original.
Oh, the original. Oh, it is the original. Okay.
Yeah. That's why it's under full remake. I would assume.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
We're back to Ubisoft. for the fifth one. I will say this is one of the two that are a bit harder.
Okay.
Still well known franchise, just a little bit harder.
I'm gonna say it's not Far Cry.
Correct.
I'm gonna say it's not Rayman. Or is it Rayman?
Which one?
Is it Rayman?
Which one?
Oh, is it Rayman Legends?
Close.
I don't know. I don't know the names.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. It's Rayman Origins. It's
Origins.
Those two go together.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, God, let those people just make more Rayman games. They're the ones who made Prince of Persia, not the live service one, the newer one, that got really good reviews. The 2D Metroidvania one. That's not the live service because they made two of them. Okay. Next one is Capcom.
God. Is it a Resident Evil?
It is.
Okay. I don't even know what all the Resident Evil games are. The original Resident Evil 1.
Already.
Alright, remake. Yeah.
No.
God.
No. They didn't they didn't do it one.
Okay, so it was a 1.
Nope.
Is it 2?
They already did that. That's Resi 2 remake. Yeah.
God damn. Do you see why I only covered esports? Because I don't know anything else. 4.
They did that. That's literally the most recent remake.
Oh my god! So it's 5, right?
Correct. And it's the reason it's not going to happen is because it's very problematic. That's why it's under remake.
Why is it problematic?
There's a bunch of really almost racist stuff in there.
Almost racist.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Is this the Africa one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
I can see.
Okay. The last one in this category is Sony.
Sony. If I remake God of War, if I remake Uncharted.
Correct.
Oh,
Uncharted,
okay.
Drake's
All right.
Fortune.
I was like, Last of Us 2 recent. God of War they done.
You got 6 out of 7 there.
I did better than I thought.
Now, you ready for the harder one? Because this is remasters.
Yeah. No, but let's go for it. Remasters. Okay.
Now, I'll give you the same hints. I'll give you the same hints. Now, to be fair, a lot of these are people really want them, so it might actually be easier because it's more like frequently talked about.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is WB.
Some of the original Harry Potter games?
No.
Is it a Lord of the Rings game?
No.
Is it a Game of Thrones game?
No.
See, they only... Arkham.
Correct, but which one?
Oh, the original. Asylum. Or no, City. Knight? What's Arkham Knight?
You're very close.
It's not Origins, are they? They want to remake Origins?
It's Origins.
That's the one people care about the less. Why would
But it's also the one that's not playable.
Oh yeah, that's true.
All the other ones are playable in with some updates on modern platforms. That one is only playable on the consoles it came out on.
Okay.
Second one, Sony. Technically.
Okay.
I will say Sony published, not Sony internally developed.
I'm not gonna get
this is like the easiest one.
This is the easiest one.
It is by far the easiest one. Maybe the second easiest one.
A remaster of a Sony game. Is it? They've already remastered Last of Us.
Correct. Multiple times.
So they're not remastering God of War. They're too recent.
You're gonna kick yourself for this one.
I'm sure I am. Yeah, just tell me.
Bloodborne.
Stupid. Oh my god.
Literally
they're never gonna do it.
I know. That's the joke.
God damn it.
Because Sony published. Also, Sony technically owns the IP, but it was not developed by Sony.
I know. Yeah.
Okay.
If you said From Software, then I would have gotten that.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said Sony.
Damn.
Okay, next one. Rockstar.
They've already remastered the original Red Dead, to my knowledge.
Technically, probably. I don't know. I think they I think they did remaster.
Is it Red Dead 2?
There's actually 2 Rockstar games, and that's one of them. Yes.
Okay. The other would be GTA 4.
Nope.
San Andreas.
I think they already did that technically, but no.
So they must have done 3 already, right?
Yeah, I think they did the
GTA
trilogy. I think they did the
Did
trilogy.
GTA 5, like remastered GTA 5?
Nope.
The original, then.
Nope.
2?
Nope.
Is it Bully?
Yep.
There, I was like,
I was like, you got to get out of the
assumed that
GTA house. You got to get out.
I got out. I got out. Okay.
Next one is EA. This is in your wheelhouse.
Titanfall.
No. God, I want it, but no.
Battlefront.
No. I didn't hear you if you said that.
Is it Dragon Age?
Yes, but which one?
Origins.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And now the final two on this list are Bethesda.
For remasters.
So it's Bethesda and then technically Bethesda, but not quite.
Okay. New Vegas.
Correct.
Which one's technically? Was that the?
That was the technically. That was the
technical
technically. The next one is
Okay.
just Bethesda.
Then it's. There's been a remaster for 3. If there's not, it's 3. Otherwise, it's.
It is not Fallout. Because Fallout was already. They've been on both. Fallout.
They just did a remaster for Oblivion, so my guess would be Skyrim.
Incorrect. It's Morrowind. It was one of the two. It was one of the two.
People would like that better. That's fair.
Skyrim is still playable, and Skyrim already had a remaster, didn't it?
Enhanced edition.
Yeah. Okay, and then the last section before we get into the one that I think you'll have more fun with is remake or remaster. This can fall under either. All 4 of these have been talked about extensively. One of them is a little iffy because it falls under something that's technically already had a reimagining. But all 4 of these are pretty easy to get. So the first one is Sony.
So what am I guessing?
You're guessing.
What am I guessing?
Just same thing. It's just this is remake or remaster.
Okay.
This is both either category. This company
Sony?
thinks it could succeed as either.
So Jack and Daxter.
God, that would be a very funny thing to put on this list if Sly Cooper wasn't over that. No.
Sly Cooper?
No.
Okay.
You've already mentioned this franchise before. Not it wasn't one of the answers, but you've mentioned it.
Okay. It's not God of War, because they've already done that. It's not Last of Us, is it? It's too recent.
It's not Last of Us, no.
You're not giving me any. Okay.
I'm not giving you anything, no.
Sony.
I'll give you one more guess before we move on to the next one.
Give me a hint. Yeah, give me a hint.
I already it's Sony and it's from 2005. So PS2 era. Very tail like closer to because PS3 launched in 2006.
Yeah, I was outside of the PlayStation ecosystem. I don't remember.
That's why I said I was going to give you one more guess because I figured you're going to miss it.
All right, I can't get this one, and I'm going to feel stupid.
It's God of War.
It was God of War.
Yeah,
they did it. They remade it.
Not remake.
God of War. And it's great.
Not remake. It's a sequel.
So remaster the old ones.
Yeah, okay. This is saying, original God of War, bring it back. Like the character action style, like
it is
because the new God of War is a reimagining as a sequel. It's not
No, you're right. Correct.
Okay, next one, Ubisoft. This is the easiest one on the list. It's also probably happening next year.
Assassin's Creed 2?
No.
Is it in the Assassin's Creed series?
Yes.
Ooh. It's not the original because that was in the previous category.
Mm-hmm.
3 no one cares about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to guess it's Black Flag.
Correct. The long rumored remake of that game.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is also Ubisoft.
Okay. Is it in the Assassin's Creed game?
No.
Okay. It's not For Honor. It's not.
This is another one you've already mentioned before, but it was not an answer.
It's Far Cry 3.
Nope.
Far Cry 2. Is it in Far Cry?
Yes, it is in Far Cry and it is not Far Cry 2.
It's 4 then.
Nope.
Is the original?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if this is just like a franchise thing, like one of them could do well,
Mhm.
or if they're just mentioning the first one specifically. And then the last one is Nintendo. This is another one you've already mentioned.
Oh, shit. Nintendo game I already mentioned. Oh, it's from the Zelda. It's from
Yes,
Zelda
it is
series,
from
right?
Zelda.
This would be not Breath of the Wild, is it?
No, they already technically did that on Switch too.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah,
Yeah.
they've had Switch. That's what I was thinking. Um, this would be Ocarina of Time.
Correct. Yes. Specifically, they say Ocarina of Time 3D, so the already enhanced version for the 3DS. But either one would work.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that it for our game? Because
that is it for the game. We will save the second game for next week.
Good.
So you did, Scott. I will.
I think I did okay.
To grade you, you did. I'll give you. You did 5 out of 7 in the remaster category.
Okay.
You missed Arkham Origins and Bloodborne. You did 6 out of 7 in the remake category, only missing Resi 2 or Resi 5. And then in the remake or remaster, you did. I'll give you 3 out of 4. The only one you missed was God of War. So
not terrible.
You only missed 4 out of a number that I'm too tired to think of. So I'll give you a passing grade, Scott. You won the game.
All right.
You know what you win?
What do I win?
You get to close out the show.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us for another episode of Timesphere. We'll be back next week with hopefully some more positive news. We'll give you updates on what we're up to. Talk about, news. There'll be the weekly AI shame corner, of course. There will, of course, be something that goes on. We'll try and fit some esports into our discussion. Just wrapped up Worlds. Some changes to Valorant. Counter-Strike majors coming up. Lots going on. So we'll have a little segment. We'll just kind of dish on the stuff that's been going on. But thanks for joining us. Bye, everyone.